Hey, Bio20s, welcome back. I am talking about nutrition, and we started on the nutrition notes guide and wanted to finish talking a little bit about fats. Here's some words that you might have heard of. You might have heard about LDL and HDL fat. Well, the LDL, those are the loser cholesterol that is in your body and that causes different health problems like high blood pressure and atherosclerosis and hardening of your arteries. On the other hand, this HDL is the good cholesterol molecule, the one that actually lowers those bad loser LDL levels. And so it's good to get this HDL in your body by eating it in your diet. And it's good fat, right? And it helps you reduce these loser bad LDL levels. Now, one of the fats that is probably the worst fats for you because your body can't break them down and they lead to obesity and heart disease. These are what they call the trans fats. And so you find a lot of trans fats in fried foods, processed foods, cookies, donuts, cakes, potato chips. And I mean, yeah, we like those, but honestly, they're pretty bad for you because your body is not able to break them down very easily. Okay. So we're going to keep talking about our macromolecules, and we've got some questions to do. And then let's talk about our next macromolecule that is called proteins. And so proteins are the polymer, and they're made up of monomers that are called amino acids. And so we have lots of different examples that I mentioned already that are examples of proteins found in your body: hemoglobin, fibrin, collagen, enzymes, antibodies, actin, and myosin. And as you're reading through the structure of the amino acids, you see the structure of an amino acid. It kind of has two ends or two different parts to it. It has an amine group with a nitrogen at one end, and then a carboxyl group with a carbon at another end. So NCC is the base unit, the amino acid, the monomer that will hook together to make up the larger polymer, the protein. There's a little bit of information here to help you on question 19 of your next page, and it's also in your textbook as well. And it talks about how your body can make a bunch of amino acids, but the other 9 your body can't make, and so they have to come from your diet. We call those the essential amino acids. Okay, so proteins, you now know, are made of these base units, the building blocks that we call amino acids. And what is the structure of amino acids? And what is the structure? Well, in other words, how do proteins form? How do the amino acids hook up together to form these really huge molecules called proteins? So the primary structure of the protein is based on the order, the sequence of the amino acids. So the amino acid, so here amino acid, and then it hooks up and it joins up. There's one, it joins to another, it joins to another. Well, that order of those amino acids, that's the primary sequence. Next, there's going to be coils and folding, and this is a chemical attraction, hydrogen bonding, etc., between these atoms, these amino acids, and it causes a coil or a fold. So kind of like if you remember old school telephone cord, little coils, little folds, that is the secondary structure of proteins. So this little chain of amino acids, when we hook all the little amino acids up together like that, maybe 5 or 10 or 15 or 20, we call that a polypeptide. And then when you join a whole bunch of polypeptides together, that's how you get a protein. And so our tertiary, our third order structure, is when we get folds in the polypeptide. And then our quaternary structure, and you can see this big picture down here at the bottom of 4 different big subunits that are joined together. Well, that's actually a hemoglobin molecule. So you have one huge molecule, and then another huge molecule, and then another huge molecule, and then another one. And all those guys come together, and that's how you make up hemoglobin. It's actually a massive molecule. There's thousands and thousands of atoms that make up that tertiary structure. So proteins are the most versatile. They have the most diverse different functions. But what is common to them is that their structure can actually be affected by heat, by temperature. And so on the next page, it talks about what happens if you heat up or if you add an acid or a base. You can actually denature a chemical. It damages the bonds, causes a temporary change in shape, but the molecule is not destroyed. It can go back to its original form. Coagulation, though, that's a different story. If a protein gets coagulated, that's a permanent change, and that molecule will never be the same. Like if you cook an egg, for example, well, you can't put it back. It's no longer that kind of runny egg with the yolk and everything. That is a permanent change to the structure of that protein molecule. Okay, so our last macromolecule that we're going to talk about, and it's kind of the least important one in terms of nutrition, but it is the nucleic acids. And these, I mean, they're important to us, right? There are hereditary material, there are information molecules, but they're not something that we talk about as kind of like one of the big three nutrients. But the nucleic acids, there's two main nucleic acids. There's our DNA, that's what's found in the nucleus of our cells that pass down traits to our offspring. And then there's the RNA, and you'll learn more about these in Biology 30 when we talk about protein synthesis, how it's made from DNA, and our genetic engineering and genetics unit. So that's the last of our macronutrients, our macromolecules. And then we have some micronutrients, vitamins and minerals, whether they're organic, they contain carbon, or inorganic. And on the next couple of pages here, just some examples of the different minerals. You don't have to memorize this. This is just more for information and kind of, it's interesting, right? You know calcium already. It's important for your bones and your teeth, and it's in milk and cheese, right? And so you know a lot of these. And the deficiencies column, that's what happens if you don't have enough of that particular mineral. Okay, so like if you don't get enough iron in your body, and we've already talked about this, you can have anemia, right? Your red blood cells need iron in the to help with the protein hemoglobin to carry oxygen. And then this is just a chart showing the different vitamins. This is another micronutrient that you get in your body. But why? Why do you need vitamin A for? What happens if you don't have enough? What is the deficiency? Okay, and so you can just read through this, and then you're going to work through your nutrition worksheet and try to summarize all this information in the nutrition macromolecules summary chart. Okay, so again, if you have any questions, michelle.ledeen@ghsd75.ca. Talk to you later. Have a good one. Take care of yourselves.